Hey VGA crew, Mike and Mara here with the question of the week. Question of the week, of course, was what's your Lord of the Rings memory, your personal one that stands out the most for you? For me, it has to be my first viewing of Fellowship of the Rings. Fellowship of the Ring came out on December 19th, 2001, which was a Wednesday. It was also the day I had my last final at the college I was at the time. I was going to John Jay, and I was not doing very well. I was transferring out the next semester because if I didn't, I'd be flunking out completely. I was not doing very great. Not only that, my father had passed away 7 months prior to that, April of 2001, also working at Staples and not really loving that. And so I really felt like a big old miserable kind of failure all around. It was terrible. So I went in to take my last final at like 7 in the morning, but then I had my shift in Lower Manhattan at Staples, and that was another like 8 hours away. So I went and found tickets to Fellowship of the Ring at the local theater, the Lincoln Center Theater in Manhattan. And I went and sat in a mostly empty theater to see it. Almost nobody was there at like the 8:30 in the morning showing. September 11th was only like 3 months ago at that point, and I was in Manhattan at the time, like doing my work and my schooling. And so again, I was a big old raw nerve. And then the movie starts, and they start with that music and that, Galadriel doing her voiceover. And it was just reflexively, I went and looked to my left, where my dad usually sat when we watched movies. This was absolutely a movie we had talked about. This was something we were looking forward to seeing prior to him passing away. And so it was one of those, I lost it. I just full on grown my head at 20, just crying by himself in the theater, just weeping openly as that movie started. And that movie made me feel so much better as I continued to watch it. Everything about it just seemed perfect. Just seemed like it was taken off the page out of my head. And it did that thing that movie's supposed to do. It transported me out. It made me forget about everything for like 2.5 hours. I don't think I've ever had as magical an experience with a movie as I had with that movie. To this day, it's one of those movies where I sit down and it is like putting on a warm blanket. It is like getting a nice hug from a friend, because it's one of those movies I've just always had that connection to. And so hearing everyone talk about the movies, just always brought up a smile on my face. Absolutely love those movies. Great action, amazing performances, and just it allowed me to kind of just jump in and allowed me to escape for a little while. And I don't know if I'll ever enjoy a movie as much as I did that day. So yeah, that's my personal Lord of the Rings memory. Thank you guys. Thank you for listening to this week, and I'll look forward to being with you again next week.